atoms tend to gain or lose electrons to resemble the electron numbers of stable noble gases. So, why do the atoms lose or gain the electrons? The simplest answer is they want to have the electronic configuration of nearest noble gas, because these noble gases are having the stable electronic configuration. Now, what is valency? The charge of an ion or radical which has either lost or gained electron. So, the charge on the ion or radical, radical is the group of atoms with charge. Therefore, what is the charge on them? That is called the valency. So, valency is also called the combining capacity of the atom. Note that the metals lose electrons easily to become positive ions. This is why the most of metals, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. For example, valency of H positive is +1, valency of Ba2 positive is +2, valency of Cl negative 1 is -1, and the valency of sulfur is sulfur -2 is -2. So, what does it show? That the hydrogen is having positive charge, that means it has lost one electron. So, its valency is +1, and the valency of Ba2 positive is +2, that means it has lost 2 electrons. So, the loss of electrons gives positive charge to the atoms, and these are called cations, while the valency of Cl -1 is -1, that is it has gained the electron. It has gained 1 electron. So, its valency is -1. The valency of S2 negative, that is it has gained 2 electrons. So, its valency is -2. Therefore, the gain of electrons give rise to negative charge. So, what is the valency? Valency is the charge on the ion, and it is also defined as the combining capacity of the atom. Now, next is working out the formulae of ionic compounds, that is the crossover method. So, you know what is the formula of common salt, that is sodium chloride, that is NaCl. So, what does the formula tell us? The qualitatively the chemical formula tell us the name of the compound. If it is written that it is NaCl, then you will be able to understand that it is sodium chloride. And what does it show quantitatively? It indicates the one molecule of that compound. It also indicates the number of parts by weight of that compound. So, if you know that the formula of common salt is NaCl, then how to obtain these formulas? These are obtained by crossover method. So, what are the different steps of this method? Step 1. In the ionic compound, there are two parts to the ionic compound, as I have already told. For example, the sodium chloride is an ionic compound. So, it has two parts, one is Na positive, second one is Cl negative. So, it has two parts, one is cation and second one is anion. So, the first is positive ion, usually a metal, and second one is a negative ion, that is Cl negative. So, NaCl consists of two parts, one is Na positive and second one is Cl negative. So, while writing the formula of the compound, what rule we have to follow? First of all, we have to write the positive part to the left and the negative part towards the right. What is the step 2? Using the valency table, write the two ions and their valencies and then convert them into the whole numbers. Step 3, ignore the positive and negative sign and convert the valencies into numbers. Cross over the top valency to the bottom of other ion symbol towards the right. Do this for both. When we have written the valency, then we have to convert them into numbers without positive negative signs, and if there are some common factor, then we have to take out that common factor and cross over the top valency to the bottom of other ion symbol, and for both the ions we have to do this method. Write the completed formula with those same numbers at the bottom. Next step is, if the numbers on each part are same, for example Na1Cl1, Mg2O2, ignore them and rewrite the formula without them, that is taking out the common factor and then writing down the formula. Step 6 is, the brackets may be used around the radicals. What are radicals? These are the group of atoms having charge. So if they are a group of atoms having charge in the formula, then these are to be kept under brackets. Like NO3 negative is a radical, so it is to be kept in brackets. Now there are some examples of writing the formula of some of the common compounds. First of all, I am going to write the formula for sodium chloride. So the steps are, you write the positive ion towards the left and negative ion towards the right. So Na positive is written on the left and Cl negative is written on the right. Then write their valencies, that is 1 plus and 1 negative. Now crisscross the valencies, that is negative 1 towards the bottom of sodium and positive 1, that is towards the bottom of chlorine. Now write down the valencies at the bottom, that is Na1Cl1, as both numbers are 1 1, so you can write the formulas as NaCl. Then the formula of sodium oxide, that is Na plus 1 O2 negative. You know that the ions of sodium is Na positive and oxygen is 2 negative. So crisscross the valencies by avoiding the negative and the positive signs, that is to the bottom, 2 towards the bottom of Na and 1 towards the bottom of oxygen. I write down the formula as Na2O. Then Al3O2 negative, that is aluminium oxide. You know the valency of aluminium is Al3 positive and the valency of oxygen is 2 negative. So crisscross the valencies, 2 towards the bottom of aluminium and 3 towards the bottom of oxygen. So there is no common factor, you can write the formula as Al2O3. Similarly for lead oxide, write down the cation, that is lead having valency 2 positive and oxygen having valency 2 negative. Then crisscross the valencies to the bottoms, 2 towards the bottom of lead and 2 plus towards the bottom of oxygen. As there is common factor, that is 2, take out that common factor and write down the formula as lead oxide, PbO. Then write down the formula of sodium hydroxide, write down the valency, that valency of sodium is plus 1 and it's written towards the left, and OH, that is having valency negative 1, written towards the right. Now take out the common factor and crisscross the valencies and the formula comes out to be NaOH. Similarly, you can write the formula for lead oxide. Lead is having valency, that is 2 positive, it is written towards left. OH negative is having negative 1 valency, then take out the common factor if any, but then crisscross the valencies, that is Pb1OH whole twice. So you can write the formula as PbOH whole twice. So by following these different rules, we can write down the formula of different compounds. Simply we are crossover method we are using, and we are just finding out the formulas. Next is, what is atomic number and mass number? So what is atomic number? Atomic number is it is also called atomic number. This is also called atomic mass, and this is the number of parts the atom of an element is heavier than an atom of carbon taken as carbon 12. So, otherwise it is equal to the number of protons in unreacted atom, and the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So, what is atomic number? Atomic number we are taking as it is equal to number of proton, which is equal to the number of electrons. So, what is mass number or molecular mass? The molecular mass is the number of times the molecule of the substance is heavier than 1 by 12th of the mass of carbon 12 isotope. So, this is the simplest definition of mass number, and in other words, what is the mass number? This is equal to number of protons and neutrons taken together. So, how we will represent the mass number and atomic number over the element? So, I am representing here helium atom, and here superscript is 4 and subscript is 2. So, 4 is the mass number, that is we are representing the mass number as a superscript, that is 4, and atomic number as a subscript, that is 2. So, in this way, as we know that atomic number is equal to the number of protons and mass number is equal to the sum of the protons and neutrons. So, by applying this fact, we can also find out the number of proton, electron and neutron in any element, and this is the representation. So, what is the representation of an atom? That is E. E is the symbol of element. So, A is the mass number, that is taken as superscript, and Z is the atomic number. So, I have already told that atomic number is equal to the number of protons, which is equal to number of electrons. So, we can find out the number of electron and number of proton, which is equal to atomic number. And if we want to calculate the number of neutron, that we know that mass number is the sum of neutrons and protons, because proton is the atomic number, therefore by subtracting the proton from the mass number we can find out the number of neutrons. So, the representation of an atom is E raised to power A and the subscript is Z, that is atomic number. So, let us take the brief review of the topic. Today I have discussed with you some of the basic concepts of chemistry. So, first of all, I discussed what is chemistry. Chemistry is branch of science which deals with study of the composition and the properties of matter. Then, what are the branches of chemistry that I have discussed? That there are different types of chemistry like inorganic, organic, physical, analytical, biochemistry, pharmaceutical chemistry, etc. So, what are the units and dimensions? So, unit is the standard of reference which is chosen for representing a physical quantity. So, there are two types of units, one is fundamental units and derived units. So, fundamental units, they are different fundamental quantities, and these units can neither be derived nor resolved into further units. So, what are derived units? These are further made up of from the fundamental units, as there are 7 fundamental units. So, these are derived from those units. So, what are the dimensions of physical quantity? The dimensions of physical quantity are the powers to which the fundamental units like m, l and t are raised to represent the units. So, matter is anything which occupies space and has mass. So, it can be further physically classified in solid, liquid and gases, and chemically it is further divided into element, mixture and compounds. So, dimensional formula is the simple representation of the fundamental quantity in terms of fundamental units. Atom, molecule and ion, then I have discussed. The atom is the smallest unit which may or may not have independent existence, while molecule has independent existence and ion is a charged species. So, then I have just explained the different rules for working out the formula of different ionic compounds. So, there are different formulas and the method is known as crossover method, and we can find out the formulas of different compounds. In the end, I have discussed what is atomic number and mass number, and what I have discussed that atomic number is equal to number of proton, which is equal to number of electrons, And what is mass number? This is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. So I hope you have understood the lecture and enjoyed the session. Thank you.